Weekend playoffs, Cowboys with their noses pressed up against the glass on the outside looking in. I'm Mike Fisher, doing the same thing as we cover the Cowboys in the NFL in Frisco. This is the Fish Report, also at cowboyscountry.com. And thank you to BetUS for doing what they do to help us all, 73,000 fish heads in Cowboy Nation, do what we do. Did the Cowboys hire the wrong head coach a year ago? They're trying to hire the right head coach now. The Mike McCarthy era is over. Dan Quinn, 1 year removed from being a prominent employee here, just led the upstart Washington Commandos to the NFC Championship game, one step shy of the Super Bowl with that shocking playoff win at Detroit. Folks here in Frisco, inside the Star, and many inside Cowboy Nation, reluctant to root for Washington, but happy for Quinn. And then there's something else. Many in Cowboys Nation now wondering if a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, Jerry Jones picked the wrong head coach. As of a year ago, Cowboys had finished 3 straight 12-5 regular seasons under McCarthy. 12-5, 12-5, and 12-5. Head coach in 21, 22, and 23, with Quinn, of course, running the defense. The formula completely worked. To the credit of everybody. To the credit of Quinn, McCarthy, and Jerry. Until it didn't. When Dallas got blown out, and again, we call it 48-0 because that's really what it was. 48-32 is officially how it goes in the books. When Dallas got blown out by Green Bay, a young team that should have come into this building and made their pants yellow, and not because that's the way they were originally made. Here comes Green Bay, they win 48-0, and Jerry Jones finds himself at a crossroads, and he knew it. He could have, in theory, dismissed McCarthy. He could have extended McCarthy. He could have promoted Dan Quinn to head coach. And as we sit here today, in retrospect, if you could go back and do it all over again, you might do that. But go back to that day, that week. Do you fire McCarthy because he couldn't score? Maybe. And then promote Quinn, even though he couldn't stop Green Bay from scoring? That would be a weird day and a weird time to promote Dan Quinn. Way to go, Dan. Some people think you're a little too focused on the Washington job. We wish you would have been focused here. You gave up 48 points. It's one of the all-time upsets of all time in NFL history. That's a 2 losing to a 7, right? Is that right? You gave up 1 million points to a kid quarterback in your building where you had previously almost never lost. Here's a new contract. You're the new head coach of the Cowboys. That would have been weird. But the irritating facts remain. By the way, take your facts and go to BetUS and use your smarts to have some fun. BetUS.com. Use the promo code YouTube150 and get a 150% discount on your investment of up to $2,000. Invest in your own football brain. Thank you to BetUS. Irritating facts. 1. Quinn is responsible now for the turnaround of a Washington team that won just 4 games last year. And now they're a 12-5 team with the 2 more wins in the playoffs. 2, you're going to hate this. Quinn's Commanders in the last week have the same number of playoff wins as Jerry's Cowboys have in the last 10 years. Wonk, wonk. 3, Dallas now hasn't reached the NFC Championship game since the 1995 season. You're probably aware of this. And you probably have to be aware of this too, because it's going to be shoved in your face now until it goes away. Now that Washington has done it, it's more embarrassing than ever, because now you're the only one who hasn't done it. The Cowboys, now in a post-McCarthy place and searching for the next head coach, have the longest title game drought in the conference. Over the course of the last 30 years, everybody in the conference has qualified for at least one. Does that mean that coach pick was wrong? Because remember, again, not everybody understands this, not everybody knows it. You do blow it up. A reason to keep McCarthy around for the final year of his contract is they were going to blow it up a year later anyway. it would have been wild for them to say, Big Mike, you're out. DQ, you're up. But as you sit here now, 73 almost thousand fish heads in Cowboy Nation and our friends at BetUS. As you sit here now and look at what Quinn's doing there, of course, it helps to have a quarterback, but Dallas thinks it does have a quarterback. It helps to change the culture. He did it fast. He really did. Does Dallas need to change the culture? The numbers are the numbers. Forget the fantasy. In the last 30 years now, Detroit did it 2 years ago. They're rarely good. They did it 2 years ago. Washington is doing it now. They're never good. Now it's Jerry Jones's Cowboys. When it comes to an NFC championship game, not to mention playoff wins, not to mention a playoff berth, with their noses pressed against the glass on the outside looking in. Fish out.